Good evening. You are watching News Mongolia on MNB World. I'm your host, Jugdur Gambold. And for our top stories. Meeting themed promoting Mongolia's third neighbor policy organized by AmCham. Entrepreneurship focused on socio-emotional skills for youth in rural Mongolia program implemented at Technical Vocational Training Centers. More than 200 children participated in the Lego robot competition. For the news, stay tuned. AmCham Mongolia organized its January monthly meeting themed Promoting Mongolia's third neighbor policy on January 24th. The meeting was attended by Richard Boangang, the ambassador of the United States to Mongolia, Tsaktbatar Damding, a member of parliament, and Gary Banda, chairman of the board of AmCham Mongolia.
The objective of the meeting was to exchange perspectives on Mongolia's third neighbor policy, how it reflects on commercial relations with partner countries, the economic opportunities and challenges faced. In addition, a lively discussion between attendees and panelists was held. One of the important points of the discussion was foreign investments and attracting foreign investors. Participants noted that one of the main things needed is trust from investors in the Mongolian business environment, as some noted that foreign investment is needed for expanding the domestic economy.
The law adoption process shall take at least 60 days, and in addition it should be open and transparent. And there should be some public discussion with the inclusion of investors' interest, and the draft of the law should be transparent. That's what investors keep telling us, and in addition, participants say the tax environment should be improved as some taxes like holding tax are quite high.
This is it's a fascinating topic, the third neighbour policy, because of our position here in Mongolia. We're surrounded by, we're a landlocked country. We're surrounded by two countries which perhaps don't have such a strong respect for democracy and human rights. The American ambassador referred to the illegal invasion of Ukraine and some of the challenges that's created for Mongolia. Also, with regard to COVID, we had a locked border for a very long time with China, and this has created economic pressures on Mongolia. The Mongolian government in particular needs to think about the building of trust amongst foreign investors. The relationship between foreign investors and the Mongolian government has been somewhat troubled. I think it's fair to say. There have been various episodes down the years which have caused some problems. I think it's legitimate to say that this recent situation that's blown up with regard to Erdnez Tavantalgoy has clearly shaken the confidence of the international investment community, and it would be wrong of me not to say that. We have to be honest about these things, and I think the government needs to take some very strong and fair steps to address this issue and show that justice has been done.
Participants of the meeting noted that, just as many other emerging economies in the world, Mongolia should make great efforts to attract foreign investments and consequently create a favorable, transparent, and trustworthy business environment.
Entrepreneurship focused on socio-emotional skills for youth in rural Mongolia, known as SEL program, is being implemented by the Save the Children. The workshop for exchanging experiences between Technical Vocational Training Centers was held on January 24th at the Toshin Hotel in Ulaanbaatar.
This workshop summarizes the results, experiences, and lessons learned during the progress of the ESL program. In addition, students of Technical Vocational Training Centers competed with their entrepreneurship skills and pitched their ideas. Aromatherapy and incense are inseparable parts of the traditional medicine. We produce incense sticks using herbs commonly found in nature. Before attending this program, I was very shy, and doing presentation in front of a wide audience was a big challenge for me. In Mongolia, around 150,000 students study at around 80 universities and technical vocational training centers, and each year around 40,000 students graduate from these institutions. Sadly, statistics show that 1 out of 3 graduates is employed in a different area of the workforce where they didn't do their major in. Therefore, in order to increase the employment rate of school graduates, there is a need of developing soft skills of future professionals from a young age. Soft skills, otherwise known as people skills, help you work well with others and achieve goals as a team. Because even technical jobs require soft skills, employers are especially keen to hire and promote workers who have these abilities. Soft skills are the skills that enable you to fit in at the workplace. They include your personality, attitude, flexibility, motivation, and manners. Soft skills are so important that they are often the reason employers decide whether to keep or promote an employee.
Soft skills are different from hard skills or technical skills, which are directly relevant to the job of which you are applying. Hard skills are often more quantifiable and easier to learn than soft skills.
The Save the Children has been implementing a project dedicated to youth on developing their soft skills and entrepreneurship knowledge in local regions in Hovd, Zavkhan, Overhanga, Sukhbatr, and Qovsonbor provinces since 2020. The project is supported by the World Bank and the Japan Social Development Fund.
The 21st summer this century is the age of information. Therefore, in order to support science and technology engineering education of general education students, the Mongolian Lego Robot National Championship was organized. 26 teams from 23 urban and rural schools participated in the competition and tested their talents.
Students from 8 provinces came to the Lego Robot competition. They competed against their peers with their own robots to determine their coding skills. The children say that they have learned a lot because they are participating in this kind of competition for the first time.
By building robots, I learned to look at multiple perspectives. I also learned how to solve problems. This was the first competition and it was a good practice. I'm happy that I entered such a big competition for the first time and successfully participated. This is the first time that I participated in this competition, but the feeling is nice. I learned to participate again and I think that the competition is very useful for children who dream of becoming engineers in the future.
Participating in a Lego robot competition has many advantages, such as increasing the ability to develop technical thinking in children from an early age. In other words, we can say that we support future engineers through this competition. The competition was organized among children from 6th to 10th grades, from building Lego robots to seniors and adults in the following categories: sumo robot, American football, mini sumo robot, automatic line following robot.
In the field of robotic automation, the world has recently received a lot of attention. This is the main reason for the challenge of people who create a very creative country, as well as a manufacturing country. That is why this competition is being organized to develop creative thinking in our children.
More than 100 representatives of more than 200 students of general education participated in the competition in 7 categories, and the best were selected.
Now let's look at the currency exchange rates provided by the Mongol Bank. Please welcome back. You've been with News Mongolia on MNB World. Now here comes foreign news partnered with international news agencies. The United States has joined the European Union in imposing sanctions on a new group of Iranian officials and organizations suspected in the security crackdown on protesters.
At a meeting in Brussels, European Union foreign ministers agreed to slap a travel ban and asset freeze on Iran's sports and youth minister Hamid Sajadi, accusing him of pressuring Iran's athletes into silence, including an Iranian climber who competed without Islamic headdress at a competition in Seoul. The Iranian special police forces were also targeted, accused of using excessive violence and lethal force against unarmed protesters, including women and children, by firing automatic weapons at protesters. The 27-nation bloc had already imposed 3 rounds of sanctions on Iranian officials and organizations, including ministers, military officers, and Iran's morality police, for human rights abuses over the protests that erupted in Iran in mid-September over the death of Mahsa Amini. The 22-year-old woman died after being arrested by the morality police for allegedly violating the Islamic Republic's strict dress code. Women have played a leading role in the protests, with many publicly removing the compulsory Islamic headscarf known as the hijab.
The United States took further action today, concurrently with the United Kingdom and the European Union, to promote accountability for the Iranian regime's human rights abuses by imposing sanctions on 10 additional Iranian individuals, including Iran's Deputy Minister of Intelligence and key commanders in the Iranian Revolutionary Guard Corps, as well as 1 additional Iranian entity. Today's action is the latest of numerous tranches of sanctions made in close consultation with our allies and partners and aimed at Iranian individuals and entities connected to Iranian authorities' cruel and violent crackdown against peaceful protesters.
The State Department is also continuing to push for NATO membership for Sweden and Finland despite opposition by Turkey. Turkish President Recep Tayyip Erdogan cast serious doubt on NATO's expansion Monday after warning Sweden not to expect support following weekend protests in Stockholm by an anti-Islam activist and pro-Kurdish groups. Erdogan slammed Rasmus Paludan's Quran-burning protest on Saturday, saying it was an insult to everyone, especially to Muslims. On Monday, Price told reporters that both Sweden and Finland are ready to join the alliance because of their military capabilities and democratic values. Price also defended Germany's go-slow approach on agreeing to allow Ukraine to use German-produced Leopard 2 battle tanks in its fight against Russia. Poland said Monday it would ask Berlin for permission to send German-built Leopard tanks to Ukraine as its Western allies move to supply Kyiv with more powerful military hardware to thwart Russia's invasion. Germany has hesitated to approve sending tanks to Ukraine, but Polish officials took heart from remarks Sunday by German Foreign Minister Annalena Baerbock that Berlin wouldn't seek to stop Poland from providing Leopard 2 battle tanks. Polish Prime Minister Mateusz Morawiecki didn't specify when the request to Germany will be made. He said that Poland is building a coalition of nations ready to send Leopard 2 battle tanks to Ukraine.
Jacinda Ardern made her final public appearance as New Zealand's Prime Minister Tuesday, saying that she lives with a greater love and affection for New Zealand and its people than when she started.
Ardern, who has been a global icon of the left, shocked the nation Thursday when she said she was resigning as leader after more than 5 years because she had nothing left in the tank. Labour Party lawmakers voted unanimously Sunday for Chris Hipkins to take over as Prime Minister, and he will be sworn in Wednesday. Ardern's final act as leader was to join Hipkins and other lawmakers attending celebrations at the Ratana meeting grounds, the home of an indigenous Maori religious movement. Ardern told reporters she'd been friends with Hipkins for nearly 20 years and spent 2 hours with him on the drive to the meeting grounds. Ardern also addressed the wide discussion that has been going on since her announcement about the vitriolic and misogynistic attacks on her on social media, something she has said didn't contribute to her decision to step down. At the meeting grounds, Ardern was greeted with embraces and songs. She told those attending she would leave the job with a greater love and affection for New Zealand and its people than when she started. She said her colleagues were exceptional people. Ardern plans to stay on as a member of parliament until April to avoid triggering a special election ahead of the nation's general election in October.
Now let's look at the regular features on the sports. Slick fielding third baseman Scott Rowland was elected to baseball's Hall of Fame on Tuesday with 5 votes to spare above the 75% required.
The 7-time All-Star and 8-time Golden Glove winner appeared on 297 of 389 ballots cast by the Baseball Writers Association of America, making it 76.3%. A player needed 292 votes for election. He became the 18th third baseman elected to the Hall, the fewest of any position. Rowland's 76.3% of the vote was the smallest margin for an electee since Al Simmons got 199 votes in 1953 for 75.38%, one more vote than required. First baseman Todd Helton was second with 281 votes, 72.2%, and reliever Billy Wagner third with 265 votes, 68.1%. Rowland will join Fred McGriff, elected last month by the Contemporary Baseball Era Committee, as the inductees of Cooperstown on July 23rd.
The lawyer who worked for Lionel Messi in his tax fraud case has been added to the defense team of former Barcelona defender Dani Alves, who's facing sexual assault charges.
Renowned lawyer Cristobal Martel will try to help Alves in his defense against sexual assault accusations made by women he met at a nightclub in Barcelona on December 30th. Martel was part of the defense team when Messi was found guilty of tax fraud and sentenced to 21 months in prison in 2016 in Spain, though the sentence was suspended and the Argentina star didn't end up serving any time. The 39-year-old Alves has been in jail since Friday after a judge ordered him to be detained without the possibility of bail following the testimony from the player, his accuser, and a witness. He has denied any wrongdoing. Alves' relatives had asked for changes in his defense team after he was jailed and denied bail, according to Spanish media. Alves has won 42 titles in his soccer career, including 3 Champions Leagues with Barcelona and 2 Copa Americas with Brazil. He played in his 3rd World Cup in Qatar, the only major title to elude him.
Now let's look at the weather forecast for the world's major cities. Well, that's all for today. Thank you for staying tuned. We'll see you next time with more news and updates. Have a nice day.